Can you just give us an update, first of all, on the squad? Obviously, we heard that Liam Scales isn't with you for sad reasons, and our sympathies to the family. How has that changed your approach, in a sense? Was Liam likely to start for you, do you think?
Yeah, for some obvious reasons. He is important for us, but I think it was good that we have had Jimmy with us, so he knows the roles. And credit to him coming straight from training, jump into a flight to Portugal so he can be with us here on this session. No, it really didn't change how we see this game, but obviously it affects how we wanted to use the personnel.
You brought Seamus, Coleman and John Egan back into the squad, I'd imagine, for their leadership qualities as well. Have they had an impact on the squad this week, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we picked them, of course, because of their quality, not because of their personality. But that helps that they have great experience, good leaders, both of them. And that obviously raises the next player's level. And that's always, the more leaders you have, the better team you have.
And when you look at the window, is the Armenia game more important? I mean, people would expect Portugal are such a good team that they have the ability to beat every team in the group, home and away. So is the Armenia game more important of the two?
No, we go for this match, like every match, to try to get something from it. We have a game plan that we think is going to work. We'll see tomorrow if that materializes. But obviously, if you look at the table, we need at least minimum 3 points from this camp. And for obvious reasons, it's when you look at it, it's probably the Armenia game that everybody is saying, okay, we can have a good performance and a better performance than in Armenia and get 3 points there. So I understand your angle, but we are trying to focus on this one and try to get the maximum we can from this match.
Damien Spellman, please.
Hey, mate, Ireland teams in the past have got big results against big teams, Holland, Germany, Italy. Has this Ireland team still got that capacity?
You'll see tomorrow.
Nathan Murphy, please. Nathan? Sure.
Heimir, just on your conversations around Armenia and what happened last time, Finn Azaz was saying maybe there was a lack of understanding of the challenge we were coming up against away to Armenia in terms of the occasion, the environment, in terms of them as players. Have you spoken about that, as to why the players felt like that going into the game?
Yeah, we discussed the Armenia game on when we met up on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday morning, yeah, we did that. We reflected on that game, but obviously we'll revisit that after tomorrow. So we'll do that again, and I don't think anybody will not be aware of how good they are and where their threats are.
Are you surprised that he felt like that going into the game, that maybe there was that lack of understanding?
Shouldn't have. But, you know, players are different. They take in information in a different way. Some need more time. Some need, you know, some are more visual than listeners, etc., etc. So we'll have to adjust to everyone. Yeah.
Evan, I think tomorrow night your first time going up against Cristiano Ronaldo? Was he?
Yeah, I wasn't here the last time we played Portugal, so first time.
Was he a hero of yours growing up?
Yeah, he would have been. Yeah, I think growing up, everyone he would have been looked at as a kid. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's a good player.
Ed Leahy, please.
Hi, Heimir. I suppose just there's been so much focus for the players on qualifying for a tournament. Having spoken to some of the players this week, it feels as though they won't feel they've achieved anything in the green jersey until they qualify for a tournament. However, it's such a big game like away to Portugal. Is this a chance for them to put in the performance and then really believe in what this team can do as a collective?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, we know that we need to have almost a perfect game to get something from this match. And if we do, we have a chance to steal a point or to win the game. Obviously, we need to try to keep a clean sheet. Always going to make it easier, but I think for the players to have a good performance, yes, they would definitely believe more and give them more confidence. That was taken away from us if I can say that, in Armenia.
And then just in terms of the Armenia game, you said that there wasn't really any player on the pitch who had a really good game. How can you freshen up the team without losing the core of the team? Is that possible in international football?
I think everyone that played this game in Armenia want to correct what went wrong there, whether it was personal performance or collective performance. So everybody likes to have this opportunity that we have tomorrow to play against one of the best teams in the world and to correct what went wrong. That's it. Whether there will be personal changes, I think every true professional like an opportunity like we have tomorrow.
Gavin, please.
Heimir, what's the most difficult aspect of preparing to play a team like Portugal?
Obviously, it's defending this team. We know from their past matches, and against almost all their opponents, they will have possession. Let's say 60-70% tomorrow. Would not be an unlikely statistics from past games. So we will be defending a lot of the time. So that will be the most challenging thing. And the goal-scoring threats from their players is not one player, it's a lot of them. So we cannot be focusing on one, then just another one will shine. That's going to be the toughest one. And then for our forwards to use the opportunities we get, probably there's not going to be many goal-scoring chances we have, but we must maximize what we take from our chances.
Thanks. Evan, can you talk a little bit about what your coach at Roma has asked you to do tactically and how it's improved you as a player?
Well, I think it's a different way. It's a different way of football over there. You know what I mean? He's sort of looking to play through his strikers. He's big on attacking and playing through the strikers. So it's just about the work that you're doing every day and trying to improve.
Aidan, please.
Evan, probably the simplest question you've been asked with Ireland. How are you? Just talk through your fitness at the moment.
Yeah, I'm fine. I was trained all week with no problem, so all good.
And can you just talk us through the game? Because the coach said there was an ankle after the Lille game. Just talk us through the Fiorentina game, I think it was. But just talk us through the last two games and the thought process between sitting them out.
I just had a problem in the game before the last and wasn't able to play in that game, but with a bit of time coming into camp and having some treatment, I'm all good.
So fit to start.
Yeah.
Gentleman at the back here to win the live section.
Hello again, Coach João Carlos from Sport TV. You made history on Iceland in Euro and World Cup. What can we expect for you on Ireland personality?
I didn't get that one. Can you
repeat that?
Can you repeat it?
What can we expect for you on Ireland after Iceland work? Good job.
Yeah, obviously I remember playing Portugal, Euro 2016, made a draw against Portugal in the finals. So hopefully we can repeat that here. This Irish team has a similar quality, similar personalities as well. So hopefully we can make a strong performance like we did in the Euros. Expect that.
Thank you. We'll move into the embargoed section now. So everything from this point onwards is 6 a.m. tomorrow, embargoed for that. And we're going to start with Paul O'Hare over here, please.
Evan, how's things? Just physically, mentally, is this night and day to where you were last season? And if so, how so? And can you just explain how, just your mindset?
I wouldn't say night and day, but I'd say there's a difference. I think when you're playing more football, you feel better, and out in Italy, it's it's more intense in terms of training and stuff, and I've gotten through the pre-season, I've gotten through the first few games of the season, so definitely in a different place, yeah.
And where do you kind of compare the levels in Serie A to the Premier League?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't say it's far off. There's a bit of a difference in terms of tactics and how they play the game, but in terms of quality and stuff, I wouldn't say there's much far off it.
John Fallon, please.
Evan, how you doing? Just to continue that theme, you mentioned about the manager wants to play through the strikers. You played quite a lot of football up to recently, but you haven't got a goal. Like, is that okay with you, or like strikers are judged by goals, but you've contributed and had assists? Is it just a different metric that's over there, given the approach?
Yeah, I think if you watch the games, I've done quite well in most of the games, but not had too many chances. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, and obviously you want to score goals. You know what I mean? But it's not came round. I'm not really too worried, to be honest.
Neil O'Riordan.
Hi, Heimer. You've spoken a few times about the shirt being heavy and mental issues. Has anything been done in this camp to try and address that, or is there anything you can do?
I'm always answering the same way this question. This is not a quick fix. This is something that the FAI needs to just think long term to help young players cope with the pressure that comes with playing international games. Yeah, that's going to be my answer to this one again.
Sure. And just, we spoke to Jake the other day about the long throws, that they weren't effective in the way you would have liked. What do you put that down to? Was it delivery or movement of players, and how can you use it more effectively tomorrow?
It's a little bit of both. It's positioning, how we approach it, and then it's always in all set pieces. It's about mentality, bravery, mentality, going there to win it. Yeah, but we even though we were not happy last camp, I think from our 14 throw-ins or whatever, we got secondary chances from close to 70% of them, whether it was a cross or a corner or whatever. So, and in a game against Portugal, it's just important to have the moments to move the team higher up on the pitch and play in their box. So we also need to be strategic, and this is not only a tactical way of playing, it's also shifting defense to attack and creating chances when we can. So,
McDonald, please.
Heimer, do you think the effort of the first game in the last window affected the second game in terms of fatigue, and does that affect your thinking for this window? And can I just ask, how's Troy? I know you mentioned last week he may not be involved in the first game, but obviously he played at the weekend and he seems to have been training.
Yeah, so we changed our mind on Troy. We didn't expect him to be in the squad from the information we got from the club, but he's been doing well on sessions and he's ready. And so I talked to the coach back and told him he would be in the squad against Portugal. And yeah, good play. So that was just from the information we had on that at that time. Fatigue, we'll kind of never know. The numbers didn't show anything different from their rhythm. Normally, championship players will play 2 games every week, so there was nothing in the numbers. But obviously, the pitch was heavy, was hot, etc. Might have touched on it, but like I said before, in that game, we did substitutions and didn't have any impact on the game, even though we made 5. But obviously, that's one of the things that we have seen as a trend. If we go back, winning Finland, losing in Greece, winning Finland, losing England, playing well against Senegal, not so good against Luxembourg, and then, in my opinion, playing well against Hungary, and then losing in Armenia. So it's a trend. So we always need to see if we are doing something, if we need to do something different, definitely.
Evan, can I just ask you, there's been a lot of discussion about maybe the jersey being heavy and maybe the confidence being affected. Can I just ask you, as a sort of a younger player in the group, have the difficult results in the last couple of years made it more difficult to play for Ireland? Do you feel the group has struggled with confidence because of some of the disappointments that you've suffered?
I wouldn't say much about a heavy jersey. I'd say a confidence thing maybe, because I think whoever's here wants to play for their country and wants to do the best as they can, and no one comes here to want to lose games, you know what I mean? Every time you're here you want to win games. So I think it's just more of a confidence thing and trying to build a run of results, and hopefully we have the squad now that can do that. We've got a mix of some of the players in the past who have gone away to go and do the tournaments, and we've got some young players in who can be here for many years. So hopefully we just have a run of games and we do well.
Gavin Cummiskey, please.
Hey, Mark. Can I just ask you about you've said twice now in this press conference and previous that it was a good performance against Hungary. You went 2-0 down after 15 minutes and scored a 93rd minute equaliser. How is that seen as a good performance from the team?
Well, first of all, Hungary is seated above us. That's for one. And then coming from a 2-goal down, obviously we were not happy with how we conceded the goals, but they scored 2 goals in the first half, and we came back. And I think that's a good performance, both how we did it. We could have scored much more goals, so we could have won that game. Then you probably would have had another question for me on this angle. Yeah, and then psychologically as well, coming back from a 2-0 down, I don't think that has happened often for this national team. So that's why I say it was a good performance. It was not a perfect performance, definitely not.
And Evan, can I just ask you, can you give us your assessment of what went wrong in Yerevan against Armenia?
I think there's a lot of things that went wrong. More things went wrong than went right, and we've came into the camp and we've spoke about it. I say we'll keep it in the group what we said, and we've gone through the game and analysed it. So hopefully we won't be making the same mistakes again.
Finally, that's enough. Finally, Owen, please. Thank you.
Hey, Evan, you spoke there about confidence. Do you still believe this team can be in the World Cup next summer, or is it this tomorrow and Tuesday a huge game?
Yeah, of course. There'd be no point in being here if we didn't believe that. I think every time we're together, we have the belief, and we need to just, what everyone else says, we need to just put aside and come together as a group and find out what we need to do and how we can do it to get ourselves to America next year.
Thank you very much, everyone. Training starts at 11. Thank you very much.